we back with another video. Today we are reacting to, I think, these two 4-year-olds expose his family horrifying secrets. You family, a 4-year-old. But if y'all enjoy these videos, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on them post notifications if y'all haven't already. But let's jump straight into it.
Let's talk, okay? You want to sit down? Tell me about mommy or daddy or somebody else.
My dad is bad now.
Your dad is bad now? Tell me about dad being bad now.
What happened at the house with your wife, with Jasmine?
I don't remember. Mom, gosh, I have to work. I get more 7.
An AK-47?
Whoa.
Okay.
What happened at the house with your wife?
Whoa. How do that little kid know about an AK-47? Folks, yo, what? Oh my God. Brody had an AK.
With Jasmine?
I don't remember. Mom, gosh, I have to work. I get more 7.
An AK-47? Okay.
What did you do?
So
Yeah, how many kids you got?
I got 5 kids. And 4 times.
Oh my God, you shot. You shot your wife in front of your 2 4-year-old kids, folks. And he's blinking, like, in his eyes, like, he shot my mom 4 or 5, like, AK-47, I mean, rifle almost. Like, them big bullets, like, rest in peace to their mom, bro.
3 times.
Okay.
On March 4th, 2022, a mother's worst nightmare occurred for Jasmine Serena. A man armed with a gun entered her home. He would notice 4 children watching television in their living room. They would freeze up and look at him in horror, unable to do anything. But the man would pass by. He wasn't looking to harm Jasmine's children. Instead, he made his way over to the kitchen where Jasmine was standing and shot. Three bullets struck Jasmine, and she was left in critical condition, lying helplessly in her kitchen. The suspect left the scene in a hurry, thinking she was done for. But unfortunately for him, Jasmine managed to survive. Despite her critical condition, she managed to call 911 and ask for help. Officer Baker was the first cop to arrive at the scene. Seeing all the kids surrounding their mother, crying for help, she was immediately transferred to the El Paso hospital by helicopter. Now it's a race against time for doctors. With each passing second, her chances of survival rapidly decrease. And for the detectives, they needed to find their suspect fast before he struck another innocent victim. Right now, they needed any clue that could lead them to the possible killer, so multiple officers would go back to the crime scene to take a closer look at exactly what just went down.
Okay, so I have bullets, or casings, excuse me. One there, one on the table. I have one where she was sitting, or where I found her.
Leaning against the big.
Was her feet facing us? Yeah, because you can see there's impacts right there and right there.
Oh, okay.
And there's another casing back over there on the floor.
Okay.
I got here, she's sitting facing me with her legs out. She had a strike here here, and what looks like a through and through here with a shirt up. She had nothing that went through completely on the back.
Oh, so the rounds are in here? I thought it was a round like...
No, she's distended. It's all internal right here.
According to the police report, the victim, Jasmine Serena, took 2 bullets to her abdomen, and the 3rd bullet landed right in her leg. Despite her critical condition, she gathered the little energy she had and told Officer Baker the attacker's name.
She said that it was Julian that did it. Valenzuela.
That was the name of her own husband, Julian Valenzuela. And the...
Okay, cut. Are you tweaking for real? Come on, bro.
father of 4 children who just saw their dad shoot their mom. However, this wasn't the only thing she was able to tell the cops. Jasmine also mentioned the car Julian drove to the house before shooting, a red sedan. In a matter of seconds, all patrols nearby received a notification to stop any red sedans they saw on the streets of Las Cruces. While Julian's vehicle was being tracked down, Officer Dollar, along with his partner, had a different task. It was reported Julian was living at this house. With him being on the run, police think there's a chance he could be hiding in the home. So the 2 officers would make their way into the home in hopes to find a surrendered Julian, or at least a clue of where he might be.
Yeah, it's wide open front and back. It's cluttered, just abandoned.
Las Cruces Police Department, anybody inside the residence, come out to the sound of my voice!
There was no other choice but to enter the house forcibly and make sure the suspect wasn't hiding inside. For all they know, Julian could be waiting for them, and knowing he's armed, tensions are as high as ever for these cops.
Can't get into these fucking things. Ugh. 85549 on Lester and Shannon. Jesus Christ.
After searching the remaining rooms inside the house, the suspect was nowhere to be found. But just as they thought they would be coming out with nothing, they received this message on the radio.
It's limited 43 right now. Red Hyundai at high rate of speed was last seen going towards Idaho. We're Florida.
An exact description of the car Julian used to flee the scene just near their position, a red Hyundai Elantra. Officer Dollar wastes no time and hops into his car. He must get to the suspect as fast as possible before the police lose track of him again.
Vehicle should have a black bumper per the note, possibly headed towards Lester, and it's going to be a newer model.
25 southbound on Espina, high rate of speed, just past Gardner.
Copy, southbound Espina, high rate of speed.
Pursuit authorized. Suspect on a gunshot victim. Alright, he's gonna stop. He's stopping in Milton. He's got a gun! Central, he just shot at me 3 or 4 times on 2-4.
Is anyone with 855?
You gotta be a goofy.
The pursuit continued until the suspect closed into the intersection of University Wave and Espina Street. A red light was shining bright for Julian to stop, but he didn't care and pushed on the gas. And just as he thought he could make it across, the suspect plummets right into a silver car, knocking the innocent driver to the side of the road. The officers in pursuit sped up to the crash, but they can't rush to apprehend him just yet, as he already fired multiple rounds at Detective Dollar just a minute ago, and there was every reason to believe he will do it again. So they have to be ready to take Julian down if he makes any sudden moves.
Show me your fucking hands! Do it now! Do it now! Show me your hands! Get on the ground!
Under multiple gun sights, the suspect has no other choice than to step out of the car and lie on the ground. Although he looks disabled, this doesn't satisfy Officer Dollar and his colleagues. From what they know, the suspect is still armed and could be pretending to be injured to try and catch them by surprise. Officer Dollar wasn't going to take any chances, so he decided to deploy a different weapon to make the suspect obey their commands.
I got the dog. Stay. Crawl forward.
Right now, Julian seems disabled enough. A crash that could have killed him only left him with a concussion. He can't even stand up. Using a canine in this scenario would be an overkill. But Officer Dollar had already made up his mind a few moments ago.
Oh no! Send this dog! Ready?
But this is where officers would go too far, and it would actually impact this entire case later on. Officer Dollar's dog would bite into Julian just like instructed. However, it would take 2 minutes of struggle to make the dog finally let go of the suspect's flesh. The law doesn't prohibit a dog to bite and hold the suspect. However, the important part of using a canine is to make sure the suspect does not sustain unnecessary injuries during the arrest. Officer Dollar's canine succeeded at holding the suspect, but this is where the officer met a serious challenge. He could not make the dog release the suspect. Even after being subdued and posing no further harm to the police officers, the dog continued to hold onto the suspect's arm, causing him more injuries. This is a clear case of excessive force and would impact the rest of this case. Dollar's decision to use canine will be reviewed and reevaluated as the investigation into the case progresses. But for now, the suspect's bite wounds were too severe to ignore, and his overall condition suggested heavy alcohol intoxication or even worse. So to make sure Julian lived long enough to face justice, the cops decided to get him to the hospital and treat his wounds. While this team of officers was transporting the suspect, another team at the crime scene was collecting evidence to build a strong case against Julian and charge him for his evil crime. But there was a problem. They didn't know who he really was and how the crime first unfolded. His wife was in critical condition and her kids were too traumatized to talk with law enforcement, at least for now. The only hope they've got lies in the hands of witnesses. Only their stories could reveal how much of an awful person Julian really is. And luckily for the officers, the witnesses were not afraid to speak out against this monster.
What'd you see, man? I was over there, right across the stop sign.
Like on the other side of the stop sign?
Yeah, and then me and my cousin, we're looking in front of us, and we're just like we see a car speeding so fast, right? And it's like, we're looking at him, and he's mad dogging us, really mad looking dude.
What did he look like?
He saw his face more than me. I went inside.
What was the car?
Like maroonish, reddish. It was a Hyundai, Elantra. And he started screaming, and they were having, and like he went in there, and I guess they were having an argument. And I heard like 3 times. I think he unloaded probably more than 5. 5? Yeah, probably more than 5. And that's whenever he came outside, and then that's whenever I was like, he's shooting, he's actually shooting. So he like ran back inside. He got in his car and like he shot like that way.
He shot that way?
Like yeah, towards the truck. He just went like this and he shot
towards that way, right?
Towards this way, yeah, somewhere over there. The officer, the bald officer, I see his car come on here and they meet. And he throws a shot and leaves. When he was coming this way was whenever we saw the cop. So we waved at him and we were like, he just shot somebody. And then the car went that way. And then right as soon as he got like a little bit past that little Mitsubishi truck, he shot again towards over there. Well, I don't know if he shot up or I don't know where he shot, but we were already running inside.
If what these eyewitnesses are telling is true, then the whole shooting had a long and steady build-up to it. But what the next witness had to say would give officers even more disturbing insight into Julian's terrifying actions.
But the other night, they had domestics, and she was yelling, "You're gonna f me," and he had her by his hair. and he was stalking her, dragging her outside, just stalking her.
When was that?
Like 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago?
Yeah, 2 nights ago. Wasn't it, Marissa? They were yelling.
Like we always hear them fighting in our.
Yeah.
Was she on the ground?
Yeah, and he was dragging her out of her house, and she was like this, and he had her, and he was, throwing punches to her. And then the day after that, she was parked right here. It was early in the morning. I just got back from taking the kids to school. I saw her in her car, and the kids were still back there, and she was sitting in the front seat, and he was on the other side, and it looked like they were arguing in the vehicle. And she started hitting her head on the steering wheel and punching the steering wheel, and they were arguing. And finally he got out of her vehicle, and then, he took off. And then the next day, that's when he had her by the hair, dragging her out. She was yelling, "You're gonna
Not only did Julian physically abuse his wife, but also threatened her life multiple times before actually going and fulfilling those threats. There was only one person left to question, Jasmine herself, the victim of this twisted crime. Only she could tell the true story behind closed doors. That is, if she would ever recover from this vicious attack. Doctors could not promise her survival. 2 shots to the abdomen are too severe for any person to survive. Likely, it was already too late for her. That's why the officers transporting Julian to the hospital needed Julian to survive. They wanted to hear his side of the story and understand one simple question. What drove him to try and take the life of his own wife and the mother of his 4 little boys? But when they finally arrived at the hospital, cops quickly ran into a new problem.
That's right. Yeah, huh? Mm-hmm. Right there. What the whole Yeah. So stop kicking. It hurts. I bet. Shut the fuck up. You shut up. Is that?
Hey, there's sick people.
Hey, calm down. You understand me?
You calm down.
Let's.
There's kids around here, dude. They don't hear that. I know you don't, but I do.
What do you guys need from her?
I stopped with the. This is what happens.
Nurses, Michael.
No, dude, no. Get off my feet.
I'm gonna say right now, you're not gonna like this, so I'm gonna try to get you to calm down. Okay, we're gonna photograph your injuries. I'm not gonna play. Ow! Ow! You understand?
I saw a dog bite.
Okay. Well, we asked the doctor, so.
How can you shoot me?
Hey, dude. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Wake up, man.
You gonna sit on this wheelchair?
We're gonna wheel you out to the car, okay?
Right after the crash, the police discovered a pistol with an empty magazine, along with several half-empty bottles of beer inside. This explains Julian's erratic behavior during and after the arrest. Additionally, on his way to the police station, Julian admitted to shooting his wife in cold blood, all without interrogation. But as you'll soon see during the questioning, even details like this can suddenly vanish, because once they brought Julian to the interrogation room, he had already forgotten everything.
Having those in mind, do you want to talk to me, kind of give me your version of what's been happening and whatnot?
No, what's happening? I've been drinking for 3 days. Just seeing our cow from eyes.
What, if you want to keep them closed and it's easier for you to talk that way and you're not struggling, that's fine. Just don't fall asleep. Was there anything other than alcohol you were drinking?
No.
What type of alcohol you drink? Budweiser's? Okay. Can or bottle? Bottles? Okay. So why for 3 days? What's been going on? You and your old lady been having some problems?
No.
Huh?
This only confirms why Julian is so visibly intoxicated, and it's honestly a surprise he's even able to understand and talk with the officer. Still, his condition might complicate the interrogation process. After all, alcohol can lead to lapses in memory. He simply might not remember the events of that evening, a perfect excuse for someone like him in this situation. But this isn't going to be good enough for Detective Melinda to accept, so he keeps pressing for a confession.
What happened at the house with your wife? With Jasmine?
I remember.
I think you do, because you told them what happened.
I remember going in there. Trying to talk to her.
Where'd you pull the gun out from?
My pocket.
Which side? Which pocket did you have it in?
My number.
What type of gun is it?
What kind of gun it is? I don't know what's going on. I just know I cannot see nothing.
Okay,
I'm trying to open my eyes.
that's fine, dude. I don't want you to see anything. I want you to talk to me about things.
I can't even keep my eyes open. That's never happened to me.
Little did Detective Melinda realize that getting any information from this suspect was going to be the most challenging he had to do in his career. Doesn't stop him from using the oldest trick in the book to make Julian talk.
Were you guys arguing? Were you fighting? What are you sorry for? So let's go back. Pull the gun out of your pocket, right? No? So everything you've told officers that is on camera, now you're saying you don't remember.
I don't.
But you've already said what happened. In the situation.
What did I do?
No. You said what happened. The officers have already told us.
Is she okay?
Do you want to know if she's okay?
Oh, that's obvious. What?
What's obvious?
Well, what happened?
You tell me. What's been going on? Doubting how much you love her? Did you get caught doing something you weren't supposed to be doing?
No. Nothing like that.
Just have arguments here and there?
Julian might not remember this too, but there are plenty of people who can speak about his abuse of people weaker than him. At this point, Detective Melinda pulls himself together. For him, any meaningful information out of Julian is almost impossible.
I mean, he drunk as hell. What you think? After being sober, like trying to get your soberness on, bro, that shit will be fucking horrible. I promise you, horrible. Like, while he was drinking, he probably had demons in his mind at that moment. Like, people that have demons in their mind don't drink, bro. Don't drink.
However, there is one more thing Detective Melinda is to make Julian talk. What he doesn't know is kids are in the same building with him, just above this interrogation room. They were brought here to the station to decide their fate, and they're about to reveal exactly what went down mere hours earlier. But before we get to that, I want to talk about a murder that happened across the country in Cedar Creek, California. This is a popular influencer, Rose, and obviously murdered with cold case. Oh, I can't. But we have to get back in Valenzuela because his own are about to expose him exactly went down that night. However, interrogating a child is no ask for cops. That's why the police department recruited 2 child psychologists to discover more of Julian's murder attempt from these minds. Still, kids may be uneducated, but they won't tell you anything unless you become their friend. And these female psychologists knew exactly how to do it. In a half hours, they will build with all 4 kids: 4-year-old Ethan, 5-year-old Benjamin, 6-year-old Matthew, and Isaac, and talk about how Daddy, not even realizing, will maximize their father's sentence behind bars. Benjamin was the first kid to be asked about what he saw.
Do you like to color? Here, I got some paper right here. Want me to move it? I'm gonna write your name, and your name is Benjamin. Is that right? Yeah. Benjamin. Benjamin Valenzuela. Yeah. Yeah. How old are you? Benjamin? 5. You're 5. Benjamin, I'm gonna draw your face right here, okay? Do you play with anybody? Do you have any brothers? Sisters or something else? You have brother?
So I'm gonna put Matthew Valenzuela, and then Isaiah Valenzuela.
Drawing their faces, writing down the names of their siblings, thinking about their favorite things, all but important things to elicit positive emotions in Benjamin's mind. That is, until they start talking about their father and what he did to Jasmine.
Tell me
about mommy or daddy or somebody else.
My dad is bad now.
Your dad is bad now? Tell me about dad being bad now.
My dad, my mom,
your dad.
Your mom?
Then what happened?
What happened?
and my mom, they got no weapons.
Mom got no weapons? And then you said dad is bad now because he's mom?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did you
Say his name.
Don't put his name.
Okay,
I won't put his name. Where did mom get
On stomach everywhere.
on the stomach everywhere? What did he hit mom with?
With his pistol.
With his pistol?
What did the pistol?
What did the pistol look like?
I get more seven.
An AK-47? Oh.
But I was at the living room. I saw Daddy, Mom.
You were at the living room and you saw daddy, mom?
What did daddy?
Say when he mom?
He was just kind of yelling, and my dad just
Well, thank you for telling me what happened to mom.
Despite Benjamin being a broken kid, his mind might be a little confused because, well, there's no such thing as an AK-47 pistol. This may be a child's imagination, but how does he know what an AK-47 is?
That's what I'm saying.
His dad talked about, or even owned at one point? For young Benjamin, it didn't matter. He was too afraid to remember.
Benjamin, tell me, do you ever feel scared? When do you feel scared?
after shot.
Of the shot?
Yeah.
No one was fighting?
Only my dad was fighting, and then he was this one, and then was this one, and then throws it up, and then boom.
There was this one that loaded up and then boom.
Yeah.
Okay. Benjamin, tell me, do you feel safe with mommy? Yeah? How about with daddy? Do you feel safe with daddy?
No.
No.
No, because Daddy and my mom are here.
Okay. Well, thank you, Benjamin, for letting me learn about you. You want to go back into the other room and play?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are you playing in the other room?
So boom.
Who are you playing with?
But Matthew and I think.
Okay.
As Benjamin leaves the room, the psychologist returns to prepare the room for the next kid, 4-year-old Julian. They follow the same steps to establish a positive connection before moving on to the most important part of this conversation.
Julian, tell me about a mommy or a daddy or something else.
Draw Daddy, actually.
Draw daddy.
Daddy's really big.
Daddy's really big.
Yeah. He has a big stomach.
Daddy has a big stomach.
Yeah.
So I'll draw.
That's right. And Daddy just my mom was on the floor in the kitchen, and Daddy had a gun, and Mom right here.
So you said last night,
Yeah.
Daddy, Mom?
Yeah, but right here.
So Mom right here and right here and right here?
Yeah, and Mom's in the hospital now.
And Mom's in the hospital now?
So far, Julian's story of what happened sounds similar to what his brother Benjamin told.
See, now telling these kids that their mother is just gone is just crazy. Like, they finna be separated and everything, bro. That is just sad, bro. Just sad.
Still, there is something Julian told so suddenly that it even surprised the psychologist.
Daddy coming and the cops coming, and there's 4 cops, and there's the gangsters.
There's the gangsters there?
Yeah.
Who are the gangsters?
For shooting.
Do you know the gangsters?
Yeah.
What are their names, the gangsters?
to assess if it's the kid's imagination or if his father hung out with criminals in their own house. The thing is, little Julian remembers their name, so it might be the case that those gangsters not only knew his father, but also provided him with the guns, including the AK and a shotgun. Now it's up to the psychologist to get to the bottom of this disturbing information.
Tell me, what did Dad's mom with?
With the gun.
With the gun?
Mom was messing with Daddy.
Mom was messing with Daddy?
She was yelling at him, and now he goes right here, right here, right here.
What was she saying when she was yelling at him? She said, okay. You said that Dad's mom and that she was laying on the floor in the kitchen?
And her 4 times, 3 times.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to talk about today?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell me.
Me and Matthew were fighting.
You and Matthew were fighting?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Playing to the TV. When they was playing Gus's Donald and the little TV.
On the little TV?
Yeah, I found it in the TV. But when they was playing Gus's Donald, there's Rickland and Trevor and Michael.
Are they?
Dang, little kids playing GTA, that's crazy. That is crazy, Brody. Little kids playing GTA. I mean, I'm not surprised. That's where they probably got the AK-47 from and all that. Like, teaching little kids that, bro. That's just crazy.
Know people? Are they people in the game or something else? In the game.
The psychologist can rest easy. Those gangsters are just part of the game. Still, it is neglectful of parents to let their kids play these games at such a young age. With this conversation over, the psychologist invited the third kid, 6-year-old Matthew. However, Matthew has nothing else to add and shared the same story his 2 other siblings told the psychologist, especially going over the same murder weapon and insults both yelled at each other. With this, Matthew leaves the room, and the next and final kid enters, Julian's oldest son, and, well, most important for this investigation, 10-year-old Isaiah. Since he's much older than his brothers, he possesses a better awareness of the situation, meaning he could provide clearer details about the crime, and the psychologist understands that, which is why she's going to try a different approach with him.
Do you have any questions about that? No? Okay. Well, just so you know, no friends or family or anything like that get to listen while we talk, okay? Alright, you feeling okay? Alright. Well, if at any time you need to take a break or you just need a second, let me know, okay?
With this mature approach, Isaiah doesn't tell much to the psychologist, except one crucial detail. The shooting was a climax, and Isaiah saw the build-up to the shooting long before anyone else.
Isaiah, have there been times when you heard fighting or arguing or something else at home? Tell me about that.
She was just arguing about my school. Yesterday, he pulled up on my mom's work and just threw a bottle on the floor in front of my mom's work.
Is that something that you heard about or something you saw or something?
I heard when she was on the phone telling someone.
Isaiah, when was it that your mom?
Today.
With Isaiah's last story shared, the interrogation can be wrapped up and summarized. The detectives now know that Julian has a long history of abusing his wife with intent and even desired to kill her, and nothing could have stopped him, even his own kids. And finally, the killing of their own mother right before their eyes. Now the detective can use this information to corner Julian, confront him, and force him to make a confession. So they would bring him right back to the room where they started their discussions.
You don't remember your wife? I don't remember that. Because your kids do. Your kids are telling us, Daddy, Mom. That's what your kids are saying. But you're gonna sit here and play this crap that I don't remember anything? When you've already said it to the other officers? And I got multiple kids, your kids, saying daddy, mommy, and you're gonna sit here and play this game that I don't remember anything. I can't see, I don't remember anything. Then why are they saying daddy, mommy? You don't know why they're saying that? Let me guess, your wife is making them say that, right? Is that the route you want to go on?
No.
You know what I find funny, Julian? Or not funny, but disheartening? You have to ask me how your wife is doing, whether she's alive or not.
I love her.
Apparently not that much.
I don't remember doing that.
You don't remember doing that?
No.
Tired of hearing the same excuse over and over again, Detective Melinda takes his gloves off and delivers a satisfying beatdown to Julian's poor excuses.
But you know who's gonna remember that forever? Her and your kids. Because daddy, and then when they figure all this out and find out daddy didn't have the courage to be honest about what happened. He sat there and said, oh, I've been drinking for 4 days, I don't remember anything. That's what you want people to remember you as?
I remember begging her on her phone.
Begging her what?
Begging to be with her.
She didn't want to be with you?
I don't know. Go off the phone.
Hey, Julian, let me ask you a question.
I can't breathe.
Hey, let me ask you a specific question. You remember there's beer in the car?
There's one bottle of beer.
Do you remember that there's beer in the car?
I remember there's a lot of beer.
Okay, but you don't remember your wife?
No.
So beer's more important than your wife?
I want to know what's going on. I want to know if she's okay.
I'm waiting to hear back from El Paso to see if she's okay or if... I don't know if she's even alive right now, dude. I'm trying to find all that out. But I can't even get you to tell me what happened.
All I remember is going inside the house, and that was it.
Okay?
From there, everything was burned. All the junk, and I'm still drunk.
Hey, that's not what you said to the officers earlier. That's on
That
camera.
was all drunk. But when you're drunk, you say stupid things. I wanted the cops to be me.
How's that happen?
I wanted them to be me.
How? Why?
I don't know.
Cops don't just shoot people for no reason. Why would they have shot you? Did they shoot you tonight? What do you think? You don't remember.
After using his own words against him, getting verbally beaten down by the detective, and even bringing up his kids, Julian still refuses to remember anything prior to this interrogation. This makes things even worse for him. If he doesn't talk now, the cops will write down their own version of the story that will be used to prosecute him if Julian does not comply. All Julian needs is to talk.
That's what I'm gonna put on my paperwork.
Okay.
When I charge you with attempted aggravated battery with a weapon and all the other charges that go along with this, my final statement in that paperwork is gonna say, I don't remember I was drunk for 4 days. That's what you want me to put in the paperwork. Is that what you want me to put?
I want you to put that because I don't remember.
And I'm also going to put in there, during earlier contact on camera, he stated this, that he did his wife, that he did do this when officers stopped him. Because that's all stuff I can prove, Julian.
Okay.
So hopefully your wife survives, and when I talk to her, I'll tell her what you just said. No, but that's what you're telling her. Tell her what you tell me.
Tell her that I love her so much.
No!
If I knew what was going on, I knew my severity of my charges, I would be trying my ass off.
I don't think so, dude. I think we're wasting our time. I mean, you can't even man up to what you did.
With this interrogation finally done, Julian is returned back to his cell, where he would spend hours wondering why he ultimately left all his 4 children without their mother. Little did he realize, Jasmine survived. 3 days after the shooting, Jasmine finally opened her eyes. She had gone through an operation that saved her life.
What?
And the officers made sure to visit immediately, not only to check on her, but also to finally hear her side of this twisted case.
Okay, Jasmine, I'm Detective Linda, this is Detective Zeno. We've been checking up on you. They told me that you're able to talk what has happened.
I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
He walks right in the front door.
And who is he? And what is Julian to you?
With this statement alone, it will be much easier for the cops to make Julian pay for his crimes. Even if Julian doesn't remember anything, Jasmine's phone recorded everything he had said to her.
What do you think? What sparked? Okay. Was that a verbal conversation you had, or what happened?
Okay. He lied to me.
Uh-huh.
He said he was going to come home eventually.
Uh-huh.
So I waited.
Okay. And your text messages with him, any threats or anything said over the phone? What were those?
All the messages.
Other than the text messages, was there any phone conversations?
Yeah.
What did that?
Hoping to do what you need to do.
Did he threaten you on the phone before that? What did he say?
I hated to do stuff. I hated to do it.
What do you think that meant? Did he ever mention or threaten you before?
Yeah. Every time I say I don't want to feel things, I'm threatening.
Uh-huh. And next thing you know, he's there at the house. Okay. And you're in the kitchen. He walks in. Does he say anything to you?
Says he took off playing.
Uh-huh. So what do you say?
So what are you doing?
Uh-huh. Okay, where are the kids at this time? In the room?
And then the shop became really out to see how it would be.
Uh-huh. Had you ever seen him with a gun before?
Yeah.
What type of gun?
One can only imagine what horrors Jasmine and her kids had to endure, but in the end, she can finally rest, knowing well that her abuser was finally arrested and will never be able to hurt her again. And what she would tell the officer now will make sure Julian will be gone for a long time.
We did arrest him. He's in jail right now. We're going to work to keep him. You want to press charges? We're going for it. So I did, based on the information that we had, is essentially attempted murder on you. Because all the kids were there, I charged him as well. Obviously, he was drinking, so the DWI, the aggravated on the officer, and then the receipts. He's had like 9 or 10 charges on him.
This final statement from Jasmine will be the one to seal Julian's fate come court time. But before Julian's court trial, an internal investigation was conducted on Officer Dollar's decision to use a canine in the arrest. The witnesses were questioned, with Officer Dollar being interrogated separately. In the end, Officer Dollar was found guilty of using excessive force during the arrest. The city of Las Cruces had to pay Julian Valenzuela, the victim of canine mauling, $30,000. However, no money in the world could save Julian from the punishment for his crime. After viciously attempting to
I bet you sobered up now, huh?
his kids of their mother, his trial date finally arrived, and he stood in court to answer for his crime. In November of 2022, Julian Valenzuela, a 34-year-old shooter, accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to a maximum sentence of 10 years, followed by 2 years of parole for his wife and dead police officers. The city of Las Cruces also paid him $30,000 after a canine mauled him during the arrest on March 4th.
I'm not gonna lie. They should have kept that nigga gone like 20 years, 30 almost, at least. But hopefully their mom could see justice and, you feel me, take care of her kids. Hopefully he change. And if y'all enjoy these videos, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.